5 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes is go through some of these elements that I have on my screen here. Let me quickly switch on my video for a little bit so at least everyone sees. Can you see me on the screen?
Yes, Mangaru, we can.
So I'll keep that on for a little bit, and then if the bandwidth requires me to keep the video off, I'll do that. So what we'll do is briefly talk about why we are doing what we are doing. So what's our mission? Kishore Garu, you already introduced me and gave a brief of my profile and background. So I won't dwell too much into it. I want to spend most of my time today in sharing what the workshop is all about and what it can do for our students. We'll talk a little bit about the past experience of hundreds of students and people that have attended the workshop, and then we'll move on to talk about what next. So here are the three main elements of what we do, who we are, and what we do. So when I was a little kid growing up in India, going through the conventional education system where everything is rote memorization and there is no clarity in understanding, there is no experiential learning. We're just doing things to get through grades without really knowing if what we are learning through the school system, is it really preparing us for what we are going to eventually do in the real world, whether it is social life, whether it is professional life, and so forth. So as I continued to grow and go through grades, I started to feel a lot of disconnect between what was taught in school systems versus what is really required outside in the real world. And that's where I felt very constrained and curious and a little bit scared as well in terms of, am I really getting the right education? Will I be ready for the real world? And especially, since I came from a lot of poverty, I was scared that the education that my parents are working so hard to give me, is it really going to be my ticket out of poverty, or would I just end up getting a degree in my hand, a piece of paper in my hand, without really, learning and building those skills and capabilities? So as I went through that journey of self-doubt, I met my great teacher who dissolved all these fears and taught me everything I know today in terms of how to learn better, how to be more confident, how to be more clear, how to be more aware, and so on and so forth. All of that put together is what really made me the successful individual that I became over the years, having worked in Singapore and Hong Kong and parts of Europe and mostly in North America. And I attribute everything that I know to what I've learned from my teacher. And I realize there are like hundreds of thousands of kids around the world that have the same potential, but probably don't have the same resources that I received. And therefore, one of our mission at WAVE is to help youth realize their full potential through holistic learning experiences, not just academic, but also all other aspects of life. So we work a lot with youth. We also do a lot of teacher training programs because we strongly believe that if the teachers are equipped with all these joyful learning methodologies, unconventional learning methodologies, they can then pass it on to students and make learning a very joyful experience at schools, colleges, universities, and so forth. And the third part of our mission is to also work with parents and general community members so that what children learn through schools and teachers, there is continuity of the same kind of understanding, same kind of viewpoint and perspective about life and how life works, to be able to provide that continuity. Someone called Nikki is requesting for remote control of my screen. Kishore Garu, is that someone you delegated this to?
No, Mangaru.
I can decline that then.
Mm.
That's really our mission, why we formed Wave Global. Um, so Kishore Garu already talked about this. And the reason I wanted to show this is because everything that I did here was influenced by what I learned from my teacher early on, whether it was my bachelor's degree, master's degree, and many certifications that I received along the way. And I taught probably close to 6 to 7,000 people to get their PMP certifications when I was the chapter president for North America. So all the learning, academic learning that I did all my life, I used all the memory principles and techniques that helped me a great deal to accomplish all of this in a very short period of time. And that's why I believe that every single child, every single individual has the same inherent potential, but since they don't have the right resources to awaken that potential, there was a need for me to and my team to do something about it, and that's where Wave was formed to be able to awaken that magical genius that every child has. So, for those that have not seen the flyer, this is available on our website as well. Just a high-level overview is we've done over 100 workshops in the last 4 years. Typically, I do these summer workshops, in the US across these 10 major cities. Like Kishore Garu mentioned earlier, I spend half of my year in India working with schools and other educational institutions. I spend my entire summer every year in the US, traveling to these 10 major cities and do these in-person workshops. But because of the COVID-19 situation, this year I won't be able to travel to all these cities. We won't be able to book all the banquet halls. We won't be able to get 50, 60 kids in one huge banquet hall because of all the COVID-19 restrictions. So, but in the past 4 years, that's how we have done that. And if you go to our website and the testimonials page, you will see hundreds of testimonials by students and parents and teachers and community leaders and universities and congressmen and mayors that we had invited as our guests of honor to witness the outcomes of the workshop after the children attended it in the past summer. We have also partnered with some of these nonprofit organizations that are working to provide educational resources to underprivileged and minorities. So Big Brothers Big Sisters is one such organization that we have collaborated with in the past. We've also helped students in universities that are doing their social entrepreneurship to understand how we can bring about a positive change in the society by addressing a need, which is improving the quality of education. So that's kind of our footprint and profile as an organization. So I want to spend a lot of time here on this slide, right? What will the students learn, the 10 to 18-year-olds, and even parents and adults? This is applicable across ages, across genders, cultures, geographies. So the focus is in the three major areas that we feel everyone is capable of, but unfortunately, the way the education systems are designed, these things are not available to our learners, to our students. So in the accelerated learning module, what we teach there is memory principles that will help students learn things faster. So for example, typically it would take somebody to learn, let's say, the 118 elements of the periodic table, weeks or months. And even with that, there is no confidence or assurance, feeling of assurance that you will be able to recall it at will. And most often, we learn things through songs and through some of these conventional rote memorization methods, but they don't stick for long. Therefore, when you need it, you don't have the ability to recall. So all these memory principles that I teach in the workshop helps you to absorb things faster. And with the 7 triggers of brain, how the left brain and the right brain works and things like that, with those you'll be able to even retain that for much longer. So faster absorption, longer retention, all of this contributes to easier recall. And we also teach a very unique code-based learning methodology, which is very, very rarely known. Very small percentage of people in the world know this. Using that methodology, a lot of complex digital numbers and data, all of that can be easily learned and retained, right? For example, if you have to memorize numbers related to population or dates or distances and so on and so forth. With this unique code-based learning methodology, you'll be able to do it much easier and will be able to remember that much longer. So all of these actually accelerate learning. Now, do we have to come in and do something different, or install a software in the kid's brain? No. Every single child is already equipped with that inherent capabilities of how the right brain works, how the subconscious mind works. All we have to do is just bring that to the surface, awaken that inherent skill, and then teach them these simple methodologies that they will be able to use and apply to all of these academics and so on and so forth. The second very important part is the optimal learning module. Now, here is where, even as adults, we all struggle with this, and therefore we can relate even why our children always have difficulty focusing or concentrating or, staying in one place, giving 100% to the learning process, is because of this mind. So 90% of the time, we're physically present in the learning environment, but mentally somewhere else. And that's no fault of our children. That's how the nature of mind is. And that's where learning does not happen optimally because our attention is scattered. So how do we really become more aware and improve our focus and attention and bring the wandering mind to here and now and use it 100%, if not 100, at least 90%. We already have all of this, but because of the mind's nature of wandering here and there, we are not able to give that 100% to the learning process. So in this, a significant part of this workshop is to be able to understand how the human mind works, and also all these emotions, thoughts and emotions that all the children go through. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's anxiety, sometimes it's anger, sometimes it's confusion, sometimes it's guilt or regret or anxiety, sometimes depression. All of these feelings and emotions, that's an inevitable part of how each one of us goes through our day and goes through different incidences and responds to different situations. We cannot avoid the exposure to those, but what we can certainly learn is to how to respond and better manage our responses to all of these incidents and events and exposures that happen on a day-to-day basis. So mindfulness, understanding human mind, human brain, and how these things work and how it becomes an obstacle in the learning process. So first, we remove that obstacle, but we also equip ourselves with lifelong skills of how to manage our thoughts and emotions and respond to situations, daily life situations, in a very conducive way, right? Instead of doing the way we do now, very a lot of anger and distress and so forth. And then the third module is the experiential learning module, where everything that you're going to learn, some of these memory principles, some of these unique code-based learning methods, the 7 triggers of right brain, how all of that can be applied to your real life academics and social life situations. So there's a lot of relevant and applicable incidences or applications of what we are doing in the workshop. And you'll also learn on a day-to-day basis through the 5 days a very powerful, very simple, but very powerful technique that you will apply through the day, and then see for it for yourself how, very simple but very profound insights can make a radical shift in the way you look at things and the way you respond to things. So, in a nutshell, accelerated learning, optimal learning, experiential learning is what we really feel the education systems around the world are missing. And when I myself, got access to this and learned it and implemented it, I really saw that, exponential growth in all aspects of my life, physical, emotional. Um, Obviously, the success brings financial growth as well, and so forth. Right? And that's why, it was important for us to design this workshop to be able to give all of this. So here are some sample outputs, and you can see all of this on our website. You can see hundreds of students talking about this. So conventionally, if you use the methods that uh, someone that's in high school, and if they want to learn a topic called the 15 most common diseases, which is part of your advanced placement biology class, typically it would take around 2 to 3 days, if not more. But with the methodology that students learn in the workshop, it takes less than an hour, 45 minutes to about 60 minutes. So if you look at all the topics listed here on the right side of your screen here in this infographic, you can see the radical difference in the amount of time it takes to learn conventionally and then with the wave methods that the students are going to learn in the workshop. So this is just a sample of many things that they're going to be able to do it. You can actually take this methodology and find numerous applications that are relevant and that fit your context. Right? So some of the testimonials by students and parents, you can see some here, and then mostly you can see on the website. There are video testimonials by hundreds of eminent leaders, educationists, and senators and congressmen, and so on and so forth. We also received a lot of print media coverage for our work. You can see many of these things on our YouTube channel as well. Um, so what I'll do is, I wanted to spend a lot of time in answering your questions. Didn't want to make this a monologue. So I'm going to pause here and take questions if you have any.
If anyone have any questions, you can either raise the hand or you can post it in the chat window. Or right, some of them asking about the website. Mohan Garu, can you share the website name again?
Yes, it's waveglobal.org. Waveglobal.org. So let me pull that up for you. That's the website, waveglobal.org. So if you go to demos section here, I'm assuming people can see my screen.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so that's our website here. So if you go to the demos section, you will see like all of these topics that I listed here in this infographic and a lot more, where students are actually demonstrating in front of audiences how they've applied, whether it is to recall 100 digits of pi, or the periodic table elements, or 15 most common diseases in biology, or how to memorize SAT words and their meanings, AP chemistry, solar system, history, dates, milestones, uh, you name it, and then there are like hundreds of applications that are possible using the methods and techniques that you learn during the workshop, which are all based on very scientific principles of how human brain is wired and how the neural pathways work, information is processed, and so. So you can certainly take the time, look at the testimonials.
Maybe do you want to play one video, Mohan Garu? One of the demos from one of the kids, or Maybe one by a kid and one by a maybe mayor of Frisco or someone like that.
Sure, we can do that, right? Um, okay, so this is Krishna from Denver.
Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium, scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc, gallium, germanium, arsenic, selenium, bromine, krypton, rubidium, strontium, yttrium, zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, technetium, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, silver, cadmium, indium, and tin.
And my both of my daughters.
Some names that Naman was struggling with. You know why? Because he has not even seen it. Right? And some of the principles of memory and mind science that we learned works on the principle that to learn unknown, you have to use what is already known in your memory bank. And here are things that did not exist in his memory bank. So he actually went one step further, created something in his memory bank so he could latch on to that and then process new information, absorb new information, retain that new information and recall for you the way he did. That's called pushing the limits. That's called taking this beyond the easy step. That's what he did here.
Thank you, Mohan Garu. And also when Mohan Garu did the session in Houston around 1 year before, both of my daughters attended, and I can see huge improvement in the memory mind power. They were able to recollect nearly 100 to 150 words from in both the ways. If you ask them from top to bottom, bottom to top, and everything, like as Mohan Garu said, 100 digits of pi or all the periodic table elements, everything. And yeah, there are a few more questions, Mohan Garu. What are the 10 major cities, Shrenik? Again, as of this year, uh, it will be online event. So Mohan Garu not traveling to US because of the COVID situation. So this event will not be there in 10 different cities. It will be online event, or Zoom sessions will happen. Maybe Mohan Garu, do you want to show that schedule for the workshop?
Yes. I think Kishore Garu, you have the control on the sharing the screen. Can I take it back?
Yeah. Actually, you are sharing it.
Oh, actually, this is somebody called Nikki.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, like Kishore Garu mentioned, we won't be doing our workshop in person this year, but this was the original plan. I was going to be in Atlanta and Houston, Dallas, Cary, North Carolina, Chicago, Milwaukee. But we won't be doing that. But if you wanted to know which other major cities we have done it in the past summers, on our website, if you go to the workshops page, you will see all these different cities where we did our workshop. And each one of them, if you click on that, for example, if I click on Houston, it kind of shows you a summary of all the kids that attended that, and kind of a summary of how that workshop was concluded, and the testimonials from all the students and guests of honor that were part of that workshop. But this year, because of the COVID situation, I'm not traveling, so we will be doing it online. So what you will need to do is go to waveglobal.org/workshops.html. You will see this image here, like I was showing. You click here on the register here link. It takes you to a registration page, and you fill out this information, and finish the registration. What you will receive is a auto response, and then we'll send you a Zoom link with a password which will be unique to you, and you use that and join the session. It will be 5 days, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Central Time, and we'll be sharing a lot of follow-up activities on those 5 days beyond just the workshop duration. And after the 5 days, you will be also part of that follow-up sessions through Google Classroom for the next 3 months, where you will receive assignments and worksheets for practicing what you learned in the workshop, so you can actually apply it to different topics and see how what you learned in the workshop works for real life applications.
There's a question about age group. So
yes, so it is for 10 to 18-year-old. That's the age group we find kids are most receptive and most ready for absorbing these content here. Any less than 10 years, we have found in the past that it's not that they cannot learn, but just the group, it becomes so diverse then that there are kids that are way too young mixed up with kids that are much older, and that's why we wanted to have a cutoff. So 10 to 17 is the age group. 18, sometimes we make an exception. We also have 18-year-olds who are just about ready to go to college or in the college, and they still find a lot of value and join these. So we started accepting 18-year-olds as well.
Yeah. Are we going to have homework?
Yes, every day during these 5 days, there is going to be homework. That will really be required for the kids to do, because it sets them up for what we're going to do the next day. One is it gives them the opportunity to actually internalize what we have learned in that 2.5 hours by doing their work at home, and then coming back the next day prepared, so that it kind of builds on top of what we have learned yesterday and then the day before, and so on and so forth. So therefore, homework is an integral part for continuity.
Yeah. And next question. If somebody is 9, can they join?
Like I said, in the past we have tried admitting 9-year-olds, but sometimes attention issues kind of take away a lot of time from everyone else. Therefore, we decided to restrict it to 10 to 17. But we can always talk to you, and every kid is different. Some kids may be younger in age but mature in their demeanor and behavior. So if you feel that your child, although is less than 10 but is as mature as any 10-year-old or older, we can talk to us offline, and we'll figure out on a case-to-case basis.
Is there any session scheduled for July month? Because it seems in some places they have schools until June 10th. They are asking.
Yes, so this is only our first batch, 8th to 12th. We opened up only our first batch for now. As soon as this is filled up, we will open up our next batch, which will be a week later, week after 12th of June, and we will have it every week throughout the summer. We just didn't open up the registrations at this point for all the sessions. We are doing it one session at a time, and we'll be doing it once every week.
What are the methods and techniques for memorizing?
Right. So for memorization, like I said, in the past, in the conventional way, we use most of our left brain, which is, very logical, very linear, very black and white. But here we use creative visualization methods. We use the alpha state of mind. We use our subconscious mind. We use the 7 triggers of right brain. And then there are these 3 memory principles that I talked about, which basically opens up the most optimal way the human brain was designed to learn, which is through visuals. Right? So there are several memory principles like creative visualization methods and right brain trigger method that we use to accelerate that learning.
One of the members is asking that she's a gamer and she cannot really control it. How do I control even while playing the same amount of time every day, because the game runs in my mind while I'm studying? So will this workshop help me to get the focus?
Absolutely. So that's where I was talking about, our human mind is never here now. It is always out there somewhere. It's always wandering. Right? Physically, you are at some place doing something, but mentally you are at 10 different places, and therefore our attention and our focus is so scattered that we are not able to be here now and focus what's here in this moment. So what we learn in one of the very simple but very powerful methods called alpha meditation will help you be where you are physically and mentally, and be focused only on what you're doing at that point. So you will learn how the mind works and be able to control it better. And not just for gaming, but so many other things that happen on a day-to-day basis, where sometimes we react too quick, we are too soon in terms of responding. If we become aware of, here is how my mind is now making me react, either with a fit of anger, some tantrum, or anxiety, or guilt, or regret, or shame, or depression, or whatever else that emotion may be. The first thing that happens through the method that we're going to learn, alpha meditation method, is you become aware, and then that awareness itself changes the response, delays the response, and therefore you're not in control of mind. That is the mind controlling you, rather than you are able to control the mind and derive the right response you need to give at that point in time. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah. I am based out of Sydney, Australia. Are you planning to have any workshops here?
Do you mean in-person workshops or?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, because anyway, you are not planning to do any in-person workshops. But I think anybody from the globe can join if the timings are.
Yes, so we have received requests from cities like Shanghai, which is mostly in the Asia Pacific time zones. But we won't be able to do it in person this year. But anyone from any part of the world can join the online sessions if the schedule fits their time zone.
So will parents need to sit with the kids? That's one more question.
You're welcome to do that, but typically when we do the in-person workshop, we don't allow that because most parents that we have seen are there not so much to help the learning process, but mostly to kind of create that environment where the kid feels like continuously being watched. We don't typically allow that in an in-person workshop that we do, but I recognize that we'll be doing this online, so the kids will be at home with parents around them. So you're welcome to do that if you choose to, But my humble request is to just let the learning process take its own course, and we don't have to really breathe down our children's necks in terms of pay attention or look at the other kid, they're doing it, they're answering the questions, why are you not answering the questions? So all those things kind of do not make the learning environment very conducive. So there is a very different approach we take to learning. Everything we do here is very unconventional. So if parents are able to just facilitate the learning process where it makes it easier for the child to just follow along what we are doing, you're welcome to do that. In other cases, where you want to really understand what is going on so that you can help your child do the homework for that day and get ready for the next day. If you think you have the time and energy that you can dedicate for this, you're welcome to be there, but it's not mandatory.
Do this program also helps in improving communication and reduce anger, frustration?
Absolutely, yes. So, anger and frustration typically comes from the outbursts of not being able to make sense of our thoughts and emotions and how to respond to that. But like I said, the mindfulness module, the optimal learning module is where you learn how the human mind works, how the thoughts trigger different emotions, and how we'll be able to better manage our responses to those emotions. Now, I'm not saying that after this workshop, everyone is going to be like a saint and they will never get angry and they will never throw any tantrums. The difference will be there will be more awareness, and that awareness itself is going to minimize or reduce the kind of responses we used to give earlier, with the mind being in control over you rather than now you being in control over your mind. So yes, there is definitely going to be significant improvements if you follow along everything that's been taught in the workshop.
Cool. When is the last day to join the first batch?
We have the registrations open now, so I would strongly recommend do it right away so that it doesn't get locked when the registrations are full. So what you need to do is really go to the website waveglobal.org, go to the workshops page, and right here, this box here, online workshops, click on that registration link. Somebody had asked what is the fee structure. So it is $200 per student, which also includes the 3 months of follow-ups, which we are not charging. Typically we charge $9.99, but we are not charging this because anyway, we're doing the workshop also online. That reduces our cost of travel, our cost of booking the venues and all those things. So we have now, instead of charging for those follow-up sessions, we are offering that inclusive in this fees directly with the workshop fees. So I would really love to hear questions from any kids, our youth, young students, young kids. If they have any questions, I would really want to hear their questions and answer their questions.
Let me unmute everyone. So in case if you don't have any questions, you can mute yourself again. Otherwise, you can ask some questions.
One at a time, please.
I don't want to ruin the sweet taste of my mouth.
You don't have any questions?
Yeah, I muted everyone. If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can ask a question.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Dushmanta. I'm calling from Sydney. So my question is, if I'm attending the online classes for my daughter, so can the time schedule be done like according to Sydney hours, like it is 5.5 hours ahead of India time?
Yeah. Mohan Garu, do you want to answer that question or? So
Yeah, I was actually speaking.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize that I was muted. So Dushmanta, so yes, so in Sydney, when it is 9 a.m. Central, when the workshops are happening in Sydney, it's going to be 2:30 in the morning. So if you are willing to be up early in that morning and participate, you're welcome to do that. It's really up to you.
No, is there any other schedule? That will be difficult because it's for my daughter, not for me. So she's like 10, 11. So yeah, for her it may not work out. But any other schedule that she can attend, where like with the Indian case, if you're doing online.
Unmute.
Yes. So what we'll be doing is after this batch, is opening up another batch, which is more conducive to the Asia Pacific, India Asia Pacific time zone. And when that happens, we will update our website. Please look out for workshop schedule, online workshop schedule on our website. We'll keep updating it week after week, and register for the one that works best for your time zone.
Fine, thank you.
Sure.
Lakshana, you can ask your question. You can unmute yourself and you can ask the question, Lakshana. I see Arya.
Yeah, Mr. Naidu, do we have
Yeah.
to remember the 100 diamonds in the knock code?
Oh yeah, so Arya, since you already attended it the last time, I'm sure you remember what we did. So this is so this time around you're also going to do that, and then we're going to find a lot of applications of what we learned in the last one.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Pradyumn, you can go ahead with your question now.
You said you're going to give homework every day, right?
Yes, Pradyumn.
So how do we get the homework though?
So that's a great question. I was actually wanting to hear it from one of the kids. That's why I opened up for kids to question. So two ways. We can send it to the email that your parents are going to use to register you. Or second is we'll create a WhatsApp broadcast list where every day we'll be posting, what you need to do for that day and come prepared for the next day. So those are the two options that we'll be using. Mostly email, and then we'll see on day one how it works. And then WhatsApp broadcast group for that. Does that answer your question, Pradyumn?
Yeah.
Hey, Jotam, you can unmute. Yeah,
Hi,
Jotam.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed some of it. I didn't hear, like, is it CST or CDT?
It's the same thing. It's the Central Standard Time. So whatever time, what city are you in now, Jotam?
Illinois.
Illinois is Central Time. CDT, CST is the same.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Rahini, you can ask your question now. You can unmute Rahini and you can ask your question.
Okay. Will this help us like answer like memorize like long things?
Yes. So give me an example of what you would like to memorize.
Like would it help you memorize like, let's say you're acting in a play, would it help you memorize the play faster?
Yes, absolutely. So two things that help. One is, with the mindfulness module, you'll become more aware, which improves your focus and concentration. And then if it's a long play and then there are a lot of words and sentences and you want to remember the key words and the essence, so the methods that you're going to learn, the memory principles, will allow you to create a very simple but very powerful visual story or a map that will allow you to easily memorize and recall all of that information.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Isha, you can go ahead and ask your question. Yeah, Isha.
Bigger, like bigger group. So is there any chance that I could get into a smaller group?
How old are you, Isha? How old are you, Isha?
I'm 9, but I'm going to be 10.
How many more months until you will be 10?
I'm only going to be 10 when it's June 10.
Oh, so you're almost there,
Mm-mm.
right? In 6 days, you will be 10. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. You can join.
Okay.
There's one question that may be related, Mohan Garu. My child never performed well on a wide audience, but does well when she interacts one-on-one. So will this session can still help her?
Yeah, so if you really look at that, the way this is going to happen is it's really just me and the child there that I'm seeing on the other side. So even though there are, 50, 60 kids on the other side of the screen, it's really one-on-one.
40 people had left, and there is 80 more people left.
Say that again.
Yeah, Smriti, can you unmute yourself and ask your question, Smriti?
Yes, so my question was, is there anything that's covered in like the live classes that won't be able to be covered online?
Yes, that's a great question, Smriti. Yes, there is a possibility that all the things that we do in live classes may not be possible for us to do online, because see, there are some group activities and games that we play which requires all the students to be distributed in a group of 4 or sometimes in pairs. With the online methodology, online platform, we won't be able to do that, and therefore to compensate for that, we have something different that we have added in the online modules. But you understand the constraints of doing it online will make it difficult for us to do the same things we do it in live classes. Very good
Okay,
question.
thank you.
Yeah, I think we are done with all the questions. Pranav, do you want to ask you the last question?
Yeah, so my question was that would this also improve like our strategy making skills as well?
Yes, so some of the problem solving activities and things that you'll be doing on a day-to-day basis is going to help kind of improve your thinking skills, and a couple of principles, law of focus and so on and so forth, that definitely gives a very different perspective to think. So yes, it will help.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. So parents, if you
Does
have,
this session also teach algorithms like maths?
it will offer you methods to remember math formulas. Yes.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes, Jai Jiva.
Actually, I'm not Jay Jiva, that's my mom.
Okay. That's what I see on the screen. So go ahead with your question.
I'm using my mom's computer. So, I have a question. Do you have any advanced like stuff for people who are smarter than average? Like in school, I'm in the gifted program, so and also on one IQ test, I received a 1/3. I received a 130 something. So, do you have any advanced courses for that?
It really depends on what exactly you're looking for. So other than academics, see, the WAVE workshop is not only focused on academics, but it also focuses on the mindfulness aspect also. So the improvement in focus and concentration and awareness and attention, and managing thoughts and emotions, managing our responses to daily life incidents. These are also equally important skill sets that you need to have, along with being in a gifted talented program, which is really good as academics, right? So it really depends on what you're looking for in terms of advanced content, and we'll be able to answer that question based on context.
Yeah, I also have another question.
Okay.
Does this course also teach like stuff about business and being an entrepreneur? Because that's what I want to be when I grow up.
Right. So this is not an entrepreneurship class. What we do here is we teach you the art of learning. So we don't teach you math, we don't teach you physics, we don't teach you chemistry or business or accounting. What we teach you is the art of learning. So once you learn the art of learning,
Hello, I have a question.
I have a question.
Yeah, I have a question too. Is this similar to Challenge 24? Like the way, so whenever I play Challenge 24, I look at the card and automatically the answer comes to mind. I'm not sure if that's because I've practiced them so many times, or is this method similar?
So I'm not familiar with the Challenge 24 methodology, but sounds very similar. The way information is absorbed and stored really makes the difference on how easy or how difficult it will be to solve. Most easy way to absorb information so that it is retained, and therefore recall is very easy, right? So for example, if you have a 50-page book and you want to know what is on page number 24 or what's on page number 35 or what's on page number 17, the methodology that you're going to learn in the workshop will be able to allow you to do that easily.
So even though I'm already good at it, it would help me get the answer in my mind quicker if I take this course?
Yes. If you're already
Excuse me, sir.
only improve
I
your
have a
ability.
question.
Okay,
Excuse
thank
me,
you.
sir.
Sure.
Wait, I have a question. So, can you do math quicker if math takes you 1 or 2 hours? Can you do that in less than 30 minutes if you take the course? That was my question.
You'll remember all the formulas, so yeah, you will be able to do quicker. But yeah, Mohan, do you want to answer it or?
Excuse me, sir.
It seems we lost Mohan Garu, and also it is 9 p.m. I have another call starting now. So yeah, again,
So
you
I'm
can.
here, but yeah, I know we are almost out of time. Go ahead.
Oh
No,
yeah,
go ahead.
I was actually I'm planning to take medical terminology next year. So I'm not talking about this class, but this session, does your school help me teach me some words in medical terminology too?
Yes, it is a similar approach that we take for the SAT words and meanings, where difficult terminology or something that you had not learned in the past, how you can absorb that information sooner, faster, right? So if you go to our website and look at the testimonials, one of the deans who has been teaching at Georgia Tech University for 30 plus years, his own children are in the medical school. He is himself a doctor. He was our guest of honor, and he mentioned that in his 35-40 years of teaching and learning career, what he has seen in Wave Workshop is the best, right? So you can see those video testimonials on the website. And so I know we are almost out of time. So what we can do is, if you have all the information that I just shared, go to the website, check the links for testimonials and demos and FAQs. There is an FAQ section as well, and then there is a link to register there. And if you still have questions, please feel free to email us at usa@waveglobal.org. USA, United States of USA @waveglobal.org, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Oh, also one more question.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm taking AP psychology, so like, does this help me to like score? I'm asking in general. So like, does this help me to get a good score on my AP test, like memorizing stuff and like keeping something important in my memory?
Yes, it won't teach you psychology, but it will definitely teach how to learn better, whether it is psychology or business or medicine.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Garu, I know you have a meeting.
I have a question. A question as well. Okay. So my question is that so like what do you actually teach? Do you teach like how to get things out of better, or do you just teach like normal things like math and science? Because I think I didn't hear correctly.
No, I don't teach math or science or any subject per se. What I teach is how to learn, right? And that methodology, that technique, you can then apply it to any subject of your own choice and interest. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yeah, that's my first question. And my second one is like on Wave Global, does it teach you about the thing you just said? Because I didn't know that Wave Global is the website for that. So can you just clear that out?
So it is waveglobal.org. Is that the website you go to, or did you go to that website, or where did you go?
Oh, that's the one. So is it www.waveglobal.org?
Yes.
Thanks.
So yes, you're welcome. So Kishore Garu, I know you have another session scheduled. Do you want to add anything before we wrap up? Okay, it looks like Kishore Garu logged off. So I can here to answer any questions.
I got a question. So sometimes when I'm on a task, like I'm doing something, I like get distracted 5 minutes. So how should I get rid of it? Not getting distracted.
Yeah, so in the workshop, we'll be learning some of these simple but very powerful methods that allow you to not be distracted and improves your focus.
I have another question. Well, I have one question.
Yes, Pradyumna.
Is Wave Global an international company or something like, just for like one country?
So we have done programs in India, in the US, and then very soon we'll be doing it in many other parts of the world. It was started in the US as a corporation, but then we do all our workshops and teacher training programs both in the US and India. So you can call it an international or global company.
Okay.
So any other questions from parents or any other students? I'm here. Take your time and make sure to please ask any questions you may have.
Yes, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If I miss out on Zoom and you teach something and the next Zoom I don't understand, what will I do?
The best thing would be to not miss it, because like I said, it builds on top of what we have learned the previous day. So the connectivity and continuity is very important. So I would not suggest missing, even though you have some conflict in schedule or things like that. If you know ahead of time that you won't be able to participate continuously in all 5 days, I would recommend not to register and wait for our next batch when you are able to attend continuously for 5 days.
When is the next batch?
It's going to be a week after 12th. We will decide the exact dates and we'll update our website. You can then look up which session works best for you, which batch works best for you.
What? Can you please repeat? Where's the homework again?
Did you ask about homework?
Yes.
Yeah. So what will happen is, we will be spending the 2.5 hours learning, and then at the end of that first day session, I will be sending homework to the email address that your parents have used to register you for the workshop. So that's where you'll receive email. The email will have instructions, which will include links to some videos, links to some audios, and some description of what's expected of you to do based on what you've learned on that day.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
I have a question. I have one more question.
Sure.
So my mom had a question. So when are the sessions gonna start? Like the homework and the sessions.
So the sessions are going to start on Monday, 8th June at 9 a.m. Central Time. What city are you in?
I'm in Sugar Land, Texas.
Right. So it will be Monday, 9 in the morning. That's when it starts.
Okay.
Monday.
Monday, 9 in the morning.
Yes, but you have to register before, so that we can send you a link. Then
So
you
it's
click
like, if Monday 9 passes, then when you register, you'll automatically get in, right?
Yes. So let's say you go ahead and register now. So we will have you in our system, and you will receive the link a day before. So you will receive the link by Sunday evening.
So yeah. So if I register now, I'll receive it on like tomorrow.
Yes, Sunday evening. That's right. Not tomorrow, Sunday evening.
So if I do it on Monday 9 in the morning, I'll get it on Tuesday.
Yeah, so don't wait until Monday is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is register now so that you receive the link and the password much ahead, and it will be very easy for you to join the class on Monday morning by clicking that link. So don't wait until morning.
Okay. I'll try to not wait until Monday.
Yes, that will be better. Good. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes. Go ahead.
So like if there wasn't this lockdown thing, which cities do you deliver the service to? And are there any cities in New Jersey or like near New Jersey?
Yes, so the original plan was for me to be in Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, Cary, North Carolina, Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit, South Jersey, Denver, Seattle, Fremont, California, and Oklahoma for teachers training program. So that was the original plan. Yes, we did two workshops in New Jersey, one in East Brunswick, and the second one was in Voorhees, New Jersey, in last summer, 2019 summer.
Okay.
But this year we won't be able to do it better. So it will be online. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
So my name is Ramya. I'm under my dad's name, and I attended your workshop for Houston last year.
Wonderful.
So
yes,
saying that mindfulness improves your memory, I actually did scientific research on that, and it improved memory significantly. So maybe is there like a chance that I can do some research with you?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Ramya. First of all, I would love to hear your research findings and the practical application of how you applied and saw the improvement in memory. I know your dad. I believe it is Mr. Elangovan, neurosurgeon or neuro.
He's an immunologist.
I have a question.
Yes. So I think one second, Pradyumna. Ramya, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you can certainly share what your research findings were, and I'd be happy to look at your work, and you can also share that with fellow students in the next batch.
Okay, I actually got first place for that, so those findings are really cool.
Congratulations! Very proud of you. I'm not surprised though.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Pradyumna.
So how do we register?
So if you go to waveglobal.org, there is a link at the top called workshops, and you can scroll down in the middle of the page. There is a blue box, and there is a button on that blue box called register here. So you click that and then you register. Okay. Any other question?
Yes, I have one.
Okay.
Will this improve behavior?
What kind of behavior improvement are we talking about?
I don't know.
So if you have issues with getting angry too soon, or you get upset and then it's very difficult for you to then focus, and you sometimes just don't feel like doing anything. Some of those things, yes, it can be addressed if you follow the simple method called alpha meditation method that I teach. And there is a nice story that I talk about, and through that you learn how the human brain, human mind works. So it'll certainly improve all those behavioral aspects that you're looking for. Okay. But you have to put the effort for it. It's going to be a two-way street. I'm going to teach some things, but unless you apply it, unless you put the effort in learning and applying it, you won't see the results, like with anything else.
Okay.
Right, next question. Parents, any of the parents, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. Or kids, anyone.
I have a question again.
Sure. What's your name?
My name is Tisha, and
Say that again.
My name is Tisha. I'm using my mom's phone, and my question is, can I ask my mom the question again?
Yes.
Is every day a class? Like, is daily a class every day?
Yes, from Monday to Friday, 5 days. 9 in the morning to 9 in the morning to 11:30 in the morning.
Okay. So it's like in the mornings there'll be classes.
Yes, 9 to 11:30 in the morning.
So now I'm guessing that this registering thing is the Zooms.
Yeah, so you go to the website and you register and provide an email.
Get the Zooms.
Then you will get the Zoom link.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Any other question?
I have one.
Yes.
So, what day and time does the class start? Like the first class that we get?
Monday, 8th June.
Okay.
Next week. Monday next week. So it's going to be Monday to Friday next week.
Okay.
Okay. Next question. Anyone? Go ahead and ask, please.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I joined in pretty late, so I've missed out the whole session of today's. So, is there any way that we can get the recording or something, like
Sure.
to
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah, we can certainly share the link of tonight's recording. If you had registered using that Eventbrite link, we'll make the recording of this available.
All right.
Meanwhile, you can actually visit our website, waveglobal.org,
Okay.
and the workshops page, so you'll see all the details about the workshop.
All right. Sure. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
I see a few hands raised, so go ahead and ask your question. Arav, do you have a question?
I forgot it.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. So if you don't have any questions, we can wrap up the session. All I want to say in closing is what I teach in the workshop is what I learned from my teacher 25 years ago, and it transformed the way I learned things, which created the foundation for me to continue to learn, and everything I tried to learn, I excelled in it. It improved my speed of learning. It improved my ability to focus and concentration. It helped me organize my thoughts. And I think those were some of the foundational elements for why I continued to experience success in everything I did. And that was my calling. Like, if it could happen to someone like me who grew up in a lot of poverty in India, then all the other kids around the world have the same potential. They also should learn these methods and techniques. And that's what I teach in these workshops. So I strongly encourage and recommend you to take advantage of this workshop next week and see for yourself how it greatly benefits you. All right. So with that, we're going to, if there are no more questions, we will end the session. But if you have questions, let me know. I'll be here. So was this session helpful?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that. All right. So since there are no more questions, we will
Mohan
give back.
Garu, I had one question.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
my microphone was not working so far.
No problem.
Is there next week? It's a last week of school. So will there be one following week so that the kids can attend? June,
yes,
after the June 8th week.
Yes, there will be. The reason why we didn't open up all the batches at once was we didn't want the registrations to be scattered across different batches. But we will certainly open up another batch, most likely the week after next, middle of June. So,
so do I have to check on your website, or will there be an email notification coming our way?
I think the best way would be to visit the workshops page of our website and see for the updates, because we open up the registrations and we update the website as the dates are decided. So that will be the best way to do it, because I don't want to promise you that I will send you an email or notify you, but sometimes it becomes so difficult when we get 50, 60 emails, or difficult to keep track. So it will be best for you to check the website in the middle of June.
Yeah, I understand. I attended your workshop in one of the Raghu sessions. I kind of liked it and was wishing to have something like this for my kids. I have an 8-year-old and a 13-year-old. Obviously, 8-year-old cannot leverage this, but definitely looking forward for a 13-year-old.
Sure, yes.
So if the child misses one of the classes in the week for some reason, is there a makeup for that day, or will that be covered in the following day that he or she attends?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm willing to give as much time a child needs, but when I am with another 50, 60 kids trying to teach them that content for the next day, I won't have the time for makeup class for those that have missed it the previous day. So I strongly recommend not to miss any class, because like I said, it builds on, each day builds on the previous day. And if there is no continuity, it might impact the effectiveness and therefore the outcomes of the workshop.
Yeah, I get it. But thank you so much. We really appreciate your sessions.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
So I look forward for the next batch opening up.
Sure. Yes. No, we'll update the website.
So that will be mostly in the US time zone itself, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mohan Garu.
You're very welcome, Lavanya. All right. Any other questions? So if we don't have any more questions, we will go ahead and wrap up.
Is there a personal email ID we can reach you at, Mohan Garu? Or if you have any further questions?
USA@waveglobal.org is the best email, because I keep monitoring that all the time. So if you have questions, I would suggest that will be the best email ID.
Okay, sure.
All right then. So you all have a good night. Thank you for taking the time to attend.
Bye.
I will see you in the workshop.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. See you next Monday or 2 days after.
Yes, looking forward to that. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.